Alright folks, so welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different. I don't do a lot of long guns. I've done more this year than in years past, which has led to me getting in some interesting long guns. This one is top of the heap as far as interesting long guns in recent memory anyway. So I thought I'd share it with you guys in this video. This is a pre-64 Model 70 Winchester. The rifle was built in 52 or 53, depending on what charts you're reading. The rifle was then customized, likely right about that time, by the great Griffin and Howe house of gun makers. One of the oldest names in custom gun making here in the United States. They specialize in traditional side-by-side work and turn bolt work, and are written about for decades and decades and decades. Elmer Keith wrote about them and many others as being a great gun house for customizing hunting rifles. This one is chambered in 300 H&H Magnum. You'll see I've got some period ammo there. This Remington ammo is of the period. I believe these boxes were used from just after the Second World War until the 60s. Let me zoom in on some stuff here. It does have added a red factory Winchester recoil pad. Length of pull is 13.5 inches to the end of that pad. Coming up the rifle here, you'll notice the bolt handle is nicely checkered there. I'll reach down. That is a 2-panel checkered job, common on Griffin and Howe converted rifles, and that's just beautifully done. And of course the bolt is fully jeweled, extractor and all, tight engine turning. If we open that up, you'll see that the raceways are polished. Even the magazine follower has been jeweled. Some guys will shy away from these Griffin and Howe mounts, but they really are great scope mounts. This one having a Lyman 2.5 power scope in it. What these scope mounts allow is a proper receiver sight, which gives you longer iron sight radius, while still making the scope not too tall and easy to use with this stock setup. Continuing down the rifle, you see it's got a folding rear leaf there, and up front you can't see it, but under that hood the front sight is unlike any I've seen before. The folks at Griffin and Howe couldn't really say that it was their work. The front sight blade has an angled face that has a piece of brass dovetailed in the back corner. So from the peep of the rifle, from the back of the rifle, it almost has like a gold bead. And so many guys would take those hoods off to hunt with, because they'd snag on cases and trees and whatnot, and so they would get taken off or fall off. Now let's talk about the cartridge a little bit. The 300 H&H Magnum didn't gain popularity in the United States right away. Griffin and Howe, or excuse me, Holland and Holland introduced it in I want to say 1925, mid-20s, and it was popular in English guns for plains game and deer and upsized game. It wasn't until the mid-30s, a full decade later, that Americans started to take notice when American Ben Comfort won the Wimbledon match at Camp Perry with it. The round also won the International 1,000-yard competition just 2 years later. And that was enough for Winchester to start chambering rifles in 1937. Prior to that, the 30-06 seen here was kind of considered our big game 30 caliber round. You can see noticeably the H&H is a larger case, a lot more potential there for powder. You'll also notice that the round has a lot of body taper, a ton of body taper, and it can get away with that and still headspace consistently because of the belt. They're a belted Magnum and headspace on the belt, so they're super smooth feeding rounds because of all that body taper, especially a round like this, which is a 180 grain match load, probably very similar to what was used in competition in the day. I'm going to set the camera down here and we'll flip the rifle over and talk about what I see on the other side as points of interest. Maybe. I'll show the Winchester butt pad there. You know, it's the same recoil pad they would have put on the big Magnums. I believe the 375s and the 458s had the exact same recoil pad. Alright, on this side of the rifle we can see, pick the camera back up here, you can see the wood is in very nice condition. Coming down the rifle here you'll see the Lyman receiver sight there with the adjustment knobs. Another nice tell of a Griffin and Howe mounted Griffin and Howe mount is that they dress the screw heads down, so there's no noticeable screws there. If you turn this gun just in the right light, you will see 4 circles in the nicely blued surface there. I'm not sure the camera will pick it up here, but I'll give you guys a different angle. But the guys at Griffin and Howe did that better than anyone else, of course it being their mount. You'll see lots of these mounts as they sold them to other houses, gun houses, that just have the screw heads there, slotted screw heads, which not really a bad thing, but certainly a classier look here. Makes it look like it's part of the original construction. You see the scope is a Lyman Alaskan, and you have the throw levers on the Griffin and Howe mount with their patent information on there. The nice thing there with the G&H mount is you throw those 2 levers, the scope and rings will come off, the base will stay with the rifle. So if you were to fall and damage your scope, or just wanted to pack it to ship it in transit to a hunting destination or a competition, you could throw those levers and take it off. The Europeans, of course, favored claw mounts, which required soldering bases onto rifles or welding them onto rifles, and that was their method of quick detach. But continuing down the rifle here, just a high condition example in a less than common caliber. It is a factory barrel. It is a factory stock, other than the addition of the recoil pad. But just a killer piece from a bygone era. Of course, Griffin and Howe would still build you this rifle today if you wanted to cut up a $2,000 or $3,000 pre-64 to make your custom gun. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Leave comments down below. If you have any love for custom long guns, I'll continue to share them here as they come in. Please subscribe to the channel and follow along for more. Thanks.